Welcome to this week's TDD Weekly Report for the week ending September 4th. Many of you probably know the story of Kentucky Fried Chicken, how Harlan Sanders in his later years started the franchise. Well, many of you probably don't know, but another rather well-known person was just about as instrumental in getting Kentucky Fried Chicken started, and without their help probably would not have been the restaurant that it is today and may not have succeeded at all. I'll tell you about this second person. Let's call him David. He was born to a lady that could not take care of him, so within 6 weeks he was given up for adoption to a family in New Jersey. And then by the time he was 5 years old, his adopted mother passed away, so his dad had to end up moving around the country seeking jobs to keep the family supported. And by the time David was 12, he was working at a restaurant in Knoxville, Tennessee. Now, he didn't work really long in this restaurant, and he ended up getting into an argument with his boss and got fired. And after that, he vowed that he would never again get fired from a job. So his dad, later on when he was 15 years of age, moved to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and there he got a job at the Hobby House restaurant owned by the Klaus family. And at the age of 15, he also decided, which he said later on he regretted, to drop out of school. So when his dad moved on, he actually stayed in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and worked at the restaurant. And by the time he was 18, it was 1950, and the Korean War had broken out, so he went down and volunteered and asked if he could possibly be accepted to the Cook and Baker School in Fort Benning, Georgia. And because of his experience at restaurants, he was accepted at the school, and he was assigned to Germany to take care of 2,000 troops and feed them, and he rose to the rank of staff sergeant by the time he left service. After 3 years service in 1953, he got an honorable discharge and went back to work at the Hobby House restaurant and ended up becoming the head cook. And about that time was the middle 1950s when Harlan Sanders was going to various restaurants to get them to sign up for franchises. Now, he approached David and the owners, the Klaus family, and they turned him down at first, but Harlan Sanders was rather persistent, so they did end up becoming a franchise. And also, David and Harlan became very good friends, and Harlan even sought advice from David. He suggested that instead of trying to feature so many menu items, that he concentrate on just some key menu items and become very good at them. Also, he recommended for the franchises that they have the red and white striped bucket in front as the main sign. In fact, it's the sign, a lot of us remember the sign of the rotating bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken at the beginning of the restaurants. That was David's idea too, and one of his key ideas was he asked Harlan Sanders to actually make his own commercials and be in his own commercials. And some of you do remember the commercials that Harlan Sanders was in himself. And a little bit later, there were 4 Kentucky Fried Chicken stores in Columbus, Ohio, that weren't doing so well. So David was sent down there to try to work on the stores and turn them around. And after he got done with those stores, they were so successful that he was able to sell his shares of the store back to Harlan Sanders for $1.5 million, which he used himself and about a year later to start up his own business. David's full name, Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's Restaurants. I also have a video this week, and there's also a reply video to it. I'll put in the links. This is a video from BMW. Some of you remember the magician's tablecloth trick. Well, this is an interesting one they do with a motorcycle, and then I'll put a link to the bottom of the Aprilla reply to the video. So take care, everybody. I will catch you next week.
Thank you.